Hello everyone, my name's Colin and this is my workshop next door here. In this video we're going to be making these gates. So come and join me and let's see how we do it. So these are the gates I'm going to be replacing. They're currently wooden gates and they've kind of just sagged down. So I'm going to make a metal frame and then clad it. Right, so I've got this big pile of steel here. It is a 50 by 25 millimeter tube, and this is going to form the frame for my gate. So first thing is I need to cut the pieces to length, and let's get on with that. Okay, so I want to swing this thing to 45 degrees. Okay, so I've got everything set up here, supported at the back, nice and level, plugged in. Okay, so here I have the uprights and the cross pieces. Now I want to lay them out and tack them together. So that is why I've put on jeans, because that flux core welder splutters a lot. Right, let's see how we can lay this out. Okay, so I've got it laid out there. So I've got a couple of clamps and a piece of angle iron just to hold the metal in shape. I've squared it up with a square. That's looking really good there. And now I'm going to tack it. Okay, so it's tacked. I'm going to flip it over and tack the other side. And 32. Okay, it's pretty square. So there are the welds. I'm really not very good at this yet. Oh, that one looks terrible. That was the first ones. This is my last one. Still not great. So I've got a long way to go with the welding, and really trying to get used to this MIG. Yep, so yeah, it's going. I put the gates up kind of in place just to make sure that all my sizes were right. And it is just as well I did that, because I actually noticed that the gate is just slightly too wide. So I have to chop this much off. So I'm going to have to recut the 45-degree there. And on that side. And move the gates, move this side of the gate in a little bit. So it's not much, but it's just that the gate has very little tolerance the way it is now. The pieces are practically touching each other, and I would really like it to have a little bit of gap. And I can always adjust that gap out with the hinges, so I'm going to go ahead and slice this off. I'm thinking I'm going to cut a new piece because I've got a spare piece. It's already got a 45 on the one side, so I'm going to cut a new piece just to have a nice clean piece to weld on. Okay, I've tacked the new piece in, and now it's a matter of welding. I need to go and put long pants and shoes on because I don't want to get burnt. I've got the gates laid out and I've got the diagonal going across. Over here I need to weld another piece in because this is going to be where the one hinge goes. The other hinge is right on the bottom and the top hinge is here. So somebody told me that your diagonal should go from the bottom hinge. So I'm going to have a hinge here and a hinge here. So the diagonal is supposed to go from the bottom hinge to the top corner so that the force is under compression, not tension. But if I do that, then I can't mount the hinge like this. Also, I think that rule is more for wooden gates than metal gates. So I'm going to do it the wrong way around. And we see how it goes. Okay. That's 8 centimeters for the first hole. So notice this first hole, strangely enough, is bigger than these two. So I need to drill this hole out a bit bigger. So these are 6mm holes, and this needs to be an 8mm. Okay. Okay, so I've got that hinge on. So what I want to do is go and hang it on the gate, and hang it on the gate, and just make sure that the bottom ones are in the right place, with the gate being kind of level. Okay, that's exactly level. Okay. So now I've got to lift this side up. Okay, look what I've found, a little jack. Well, I think I'm okay.
Backwards. It tends to want to swing forwards like this.
Okay, you can just hold it out and grab another clamp. So this post seems like it's leaning over.
Oh, do you think it is? Do you think the ivy is done there?
No, I don't think so.
I think it always was.
So after a whole lot of messing around, trying to get the gates level, I eventually came to the conclusion that the gate on the left needs to be dropped down a bit, or the gate on the right needs to be lifted up a bit. Since the gate on the right is on a post, I thought the best thing to do would be to actually drop the hinge on the gate on the left. So this is what you can see me doing at the moment. So there we have it at last. Both gates perfectly level and in line with each other. Now I can just attach the hinges. Okay. So there we have it. All the hinges are attached. Gates are nicely swinging. So it's a matter of painting and cladding. So this is the cladding that I'm going to put on the gate. So this is a new tech product. It's a fibre cement. I'm just hoping it's not going to be too heavy. So it comes in 3.6 meter lengths, but they cut it for me so I could transport it. So this is a 1.8 meter length and my gate is 1.7 meters. So there'll be a 50 millimeter overhang on each side. Okay, so I'm going to take all my measurements from the top, from the smooth side. The side they cut is a little bit rough, so that I'll put to the bottom. Right, that's it, last one. So I'm going to take the hinges off and put my panels in place, because the hinges will go on top of the panels. Okay, so I've got this spaced out on here. Oh, I don't know if this looks nice. I'm wondering whether the spaces shouldn't be smaller. Like this. means I'll have to buy another piece. See, does it look better? Okay, so I've kind of got it laid out like this. I've got little spaces about 25 mils. So originally I was going to space it 50 millimeters between the slats, but 50 millimeters just somehow didn't look right. And I've now settled on 25 millimeters. So it's not looking bad. I mean, I've still got to set these ones up, but I'm going to start at this edge. So this is the edge in the center. So the center ones I want level with the frame. So I'll get that set up first, and then I'll work my way across. Completely flush that way, and completely flush that way. Okay, so it's nicely squared up both sides. Okay, so I've worked out the exact spacing. That's that. And that just fits in perfectly from one end to the other. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill the holes all along the top and the bottom, and I'm going to label these 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9, so that I know where they go. Just in case the hole is slightly off, then at least I'll get the thing in the same place as it is now. And yeah, let's do it. So here I'm just adding some additional pieces in because I've got a bolt that bolts down into the ground, and the distance between the bottom of the gate and the ground is 160 millimeters. So this is an experimental piece, but I need a long travel. So I'm going to be mounting it like that, and then I can go down like 180 millimeters. So I've got 20 mils inside there, a little stopper in the ground. So that'll get mounted on there. So this is the old one, I just practiced with it. So I'll get a new one and I'll modify it like this. So these little extra pieces that I've put in here, I just need to weld them, tack them in place. Okay, it's nicely tacked up. This goes on there like that. I've got the gates all wiped down nicely. I'm going to get set up to start spraying. So I'm using this direct to metal paint, and this particular one is a black hammered finish. So I'm going to use these. My friend suggested it. So it's got a little drill thingy on the end, and you just ram it in with a drill. It's all done. There you go. Okay, you can see it's on both of them. This thing is going on here. And you can see there's a latch that goes down into the ground once you go across. And what I've done is I've actually put a little thing that screws between the gates. So when I open the gates, it's like that. It pushes the gates together so the gates don't hang so heavily. So what I'm doing here is I'm soaking a little piece of this this new tech stuff, fiber cement, because I want to see how much water it absorbs and if it gets heavier with water. So I weighed that little piece when it was dry and it was 99 grams, and I'm just going to let it soak for a couple of hours and then weigh it again and see how much water it's absorbed. Because if it is significant, then I really need to paint these before I put them on to seal them off, because I really don't want any more weight on these gates. As it is, these gates are very heavy. And this little one hinge here, this hinge is going to take, almost the whole weight of the gate. It's kind of cantilevered on that hinge and on this one. 0. So already in about an hour it's already absorbed 10 grams. Okay, so I'm going to have to paint those things. Okay, so this is the stuff I'm going to try. It's a primer and a sealer in one. So let's see. Okay, so I've done the edges and I want to do the back. Done. So that brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for joining me on this one, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please join me on my next one.